When discussing the origins of the American oil industry, one name stands out: Edwin Drake, also known as Colonel Drake. In 1859, he drilled the first commercial oil well in Titusville, Pennsylvania, pioneering the modern oil industry. Drilling wells for oil may seem commonplace today, but 170 years ago, the idea was considered fantastical, bordering on insane. Imagine being in his shoes. No one had ever seen oil underground. Would you believe it was possible to poke a hole in the ground and expect black gold to emerge instead of water? Many great figures in history have shown that what others call impossible can become reality. Edwin Drake's discovery proved the Earth holds vast reserves of one of our most valuable natural resources, oil. Edwin Laurentine Drake was born in 1819 to a farmer in New York State. At age 19, he left home to seek his fortune, traveling through Michigan, Wisconsin, and other states before settling in New Haven, Connecticut. There, he worked for 7 years as a railroad conductor and dispatcher. It was in New Haven that Drake befriended James Townsend, a local banker. In 1857, Townsend took over the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company and had a bold plan: to drill a well in Titusville to extract oil. Weary of railroad work, Drake agreed to visit Titusville on what was meant to be a short scouting trip. To lend Drake an air of authority, James Townsend had a clever idea before Drake's departure. He wrote letters to local farmers, signing them as Colonel Drake. When he arrived in Titusville, the locals greeted him with the title, giving him the social standing he needed to lead the project. Known for his genuine warmth and dedication, Drake soon relocated his family to the small town and took full charge of the operation, planning, managing, and handling the finances. Townsend, as company president, provided limited funds, and no one knew how deep the well needed to be or how much it would cost. The first 2 drilling attempts failed spectacularly. The unlined holes collapsed, burying the tools and halting progress. With money running out and doubters everywhere, Drake refused to give up. He devised an innovative solution: drive an iron pipe or casing into the shallow well to prevent future collapses. This simple invention became the foundation of casing technology, still used in oil drilling today. Remarkably, Drake never patented it, freely sharing the idea that fueled the industry's explosive growth. On August 27, 1859, the drill bit reached 69 feet, about 21 meters deep. Suddenly, it dropped half a foot and settled. The crew paused for the day, unaware of the miracle waiting. That evening, the driller returned and saw something astonishing: black liquid seeping from a well. The next morning, August 28, 1859, the villagers of Titusville and Colonel Drake himself gathered to witness history. Oil flowed freely from the well, producing 25 barrels a day. Word spread like wildfire across the United States. Adventurers and speculators flocked to the area, drilling new wells in the surrounding fields. Production soared, and crude oil became a lucrative commodity, shipped to markets far and wide. Titusville transformed from a quiet farming town into the heart of an oil boom. Drake's well had unlocked the modern oil industry. Surprisingly, Edwin Drake didn't capitalize on his success. He sold his interests and invested everything in the New York Stock Exchange. It was a fateful mistake. The volatile market wiped out his fortune, leaving him penniless and ill. His family faced homelessness in New York, but old friends from Titusville, now prosperous thanks to oil, stepped in with aid. They urged Drake to return to Pennsylvania, where they would support him. In his final 10 years, back in the state he helped transform, Drake received the recognition he deserved. The Pennsylvania government granted him an annual pension of $1,500 from oil taxes, a generous sum then, until his death in 1880. 20 years later, Titusville residents built a grand mausoleum to honor their pioneer. Funds were scarce as the local oil fields declined, but an anonymous $100,000 donation saved the project. Years later, it was revealed the donor was Henry Rogers, a top executive at Standard Oil and close ally of John D. Rockefeller, a quiet tribute from the industry Drake birthed. Though Drake wasn't passionate about oil himself, his 1859 breakthrough laid the foundation for the global energy revolution. His legacy endures, But much credit also goes to George Bissell, the true father of the American oil industry. Edwin Drake's story reminds us that one person's persistence can change the world. Thank you for watching. The next video will introduce George Bissell, the father of the American oil industry. See you next time